Hey Hunters, Halo here with a second look into the Apocalyptic Subclasses, aka Athasian Subclasses, aka Dark Sun Subclasses. Unearthed Arcana that just came out yesterday, because I didn't realize it came out and have only just gotten around to doing it. But anyway, we're going to look at the second two subclasses, Defiled Sorcery and Sorcerer-King Patron for Sorcerer and Warlock, respectively. So let's begin with the Defiler. So I'm actually going to start up here with Defiler spells. So for first rank, you get Inflict Wounds and Ray of Sickness. So you just get the 2 Necromancy damage cantrip or spells. Yeah, that's all it needed to do. Fair enough. Good options. Inflict Wounds is normally not available to Necromancer builds, so it's nice to have it here. Second rank, as you'd expect, it's kind of just there. Blindness, Deafness, Ray of Enfeeblement. They're fine. Granted, Necromancy in general does have a bit of issues with spell selection. So, third rank, you get Bestow Curse and Vampiric Touch. So, yeah, have fun not really being able to use these. Yeah. In fourth rank, Blight, and then for some reason, Hallucinatory Terrain. Though I guess the idea is like, oh yeah, you've defiled this land, so you can instead just hide that you defiled the land or something. Then fifth rank, you get Anti-Life Shell, which, I'll be honest, awesome addition. It feels right that the Defiler would have an Anti-Life Shell. And then Contagion as a dark and evil spell feels about right. Only odd one I feel is Hallucinatory Terrain. It would be nice to have more ranged options at third rank for necromancy stuff. But that's a general problem of there's not the spells. The spells are just missing. It's a problem D&D has in a lot of places, so it's not unusual, but if my only complaint is I kind of wish there was more options for them to take here that feel better, but don't exist, I think it's good. It's not like anything feels like it completely doesn't belong. So then we also get their main feature, Defile and Empower. So this is actually 2 abilities. I don't know why they don't name this first ability something while the second one is called Lifesteal, but I'm just going to refer to it as Life Tap. So essentially, once per turn, when you cast a spell using a spell slot, you can siphon some of your life energy into it, and you can add a number of hit dice up to half the level of the spell slot, rounded up. So if you cast one at first rank or second rank, it's 1 hit die maximum. But if you used a 9th rank spell, well, you can roll up to 5. Keep in mind, these are stuck at d6s on Sorcerer, so that is like the one problem, but at the very least, it's nice. And you do add their roll to the damage. So basically, you tap into your hit dice, and boom, you do more damage. Which I think is pretty fitting for Defiler. You know, you sacrifice future healing for extra damage. Not that people use hit dice often, which I think... Though I think it's kind of a push and pull of... I like that it's like, hey, I might actually use my hit dice now. But it's also like, it's kind of just a free resource, isn't it? But I also like that they're doing this stuff here instead of on a whole new class, because on Scion I felt like you don't need it. you've got all this other stuff going on with psionic energy dice. You've also got full spell casting. It did not need a third thing. But here, I think it's on a subclass is an optional thing. And when the other second mechanic isn't as complicated, it's like, hey, use some sorcery points to add a few effects. So I think here it's fine. Now, what is lifesteal? So, essentially, when you would try to do the life tap ability and add hit dice to damage, you can instead try to steal that energy from another creature. And it has to make a con save. And they auto-succeed if they're immune to exhaustion. But on a failed save, you can actually steal up to... you can steal hit dice from the creature instead. So essentially, you can just say, hey, I'm taking your hit dice. So it doesn't actually directly damage them, but it is pretty cool as a way to be like, hey, I'm taking your hit dice. And you only use lifesteal once per day for free. Otherwise, you have to use 3 sorcery points to do it again. So, I think this is pretty neat. And do note, this does actually use the hit dice of that creature. So, and also, it doesn't have to be hostile or not, and you can auto-fail. So you could just ask your barbarian, hey, can I take 5 of your hit dice to cast Meteor Swarm? And you just take 5d12 extra damage with it to this big boss guy? Yeah, that's pretty spicy, actually. And do note, there is a design note about hit dice. So, monsters do have hit dice. So that is a thing. But I really like this idea of, well, you can tap into your own life, or you can tap into life of enemies, or your allies. So I kind of like this as a blood magic style setup. Now, I will say, I do believe this should maybe be called blood magic instead, but and then leave defiling to be a whole new mechanic where, like, maybe the arcane spellcasters like the bard, sorcerer, warlock, and wizard can all do this life defiling stuff. Also, you can't defile plants and stuff around you. That is one thing that's kind of oddly absent, but oh well. There's also no Preserver Arcane Caster right now, but oh well. It's not the end of the world if it's not around. You just play a normal caster and be like, oh yeah, I'm preserving stuff. But then we get level 6, you get Corrupted Caster. So you get these 2 abilities. So you get Strengthened Rot, so your poison and necrotic damage ignores resistance to those damage types. Just a shame that doesn't really fix your problems with poison, because you rarely find that resistance annoying compared to the immunity. So it would be nice if it did also help you with poison immunity in some way, but... And also keep in mind, these often come together, so... Well, actually, yeah, it doesn't really matter too much. But it would be nice if it was like, hey, you also get bonuses against poison immunity. Maybe let you swap between the 2 as well, so you can get around immunities. But then we get Defiler's Ward. So, when you use a bonus action to make sorcery points into a spell slot. So finally, something that actually encourages you to do that instead of doing everything but that. Because it's a thing you can do, but never do, because why would you? Everything else is more fun. So when you do that, you get to roll a number of d6s equal to the spell slot created. So the spell slot rank is how many d6s you get. And you get that many temporary hit points. And if a creature hits you with a melee attack, while you have those, it takes necrotic or poison damage equal to your charisma modifier. So that's actually pretty cool. And I also like how it's like, hey, did you know you can make more spell slots using sorcery points? We never really do much to encourage you to do that directly, but here's a reason to actually try doing it and all that. I think that's ingenious, is here's something you weren't using before and breathing new life into it. So that's actually cool for that. I really like that design, and the ability itself is pretty cool. Especially as a keep away from me ability, which is also nice on Sorcerer. Level 14, we get Withering Aura. So when you use innate sorcery, so that like rage ability you get, you also have this 15-foot aura, which when an enemy in the aura hits you with an attack roll, you can reduce the damage by your charisma modifier, so you just take less damage while in innate sorcery, which is pretty nice, especially as a defensive ability of, oh gosh, enemies are coming in. Okay, I can reduce the damage they deal. Then we get Essence Siphon. So when an enemy dies in the aura, you regain 1d4 sorcery points, and you can't do this again until the innate sorcery ends. If it's going to be once per innate sorcery, I would have liked if this had like a consistent amount it gives you back. Just as a, well, if I only get it once, then I would like it to be a consistent, like maybe 2 or 3 every time. Instead, just because like with the random one, it's like, oh, am I going to get a good roll or a bad roll? And it's a D4 of all things, so oh boy. It's just not as fun, in my opinion. Like, it could use some tweaking, but otherwise it's nice. Though I will say I kind of wish they made it a bit larger, just because 15-foot aura isn't exactly great on a squishy sorcerer. But at the very least, you get some melee stuff, which is another thing where a durability increase might be good, especially if you're going to use hit dice for not healing. I think it would be a good idea to have more defensive stuff. Like maybe it gives you access to light armor to just shore up your AC a little bit, or maybe it also has the draconic sorcery. You have more HP since you're inoculated to the effects of defiling, and you're able to take more punishment. Excuse me. Then 18th level, Superior Defiler. Fouled Soul, you're immune to being poisoned and exhausted. Okay. I find that hard to care about at the very end of the game. Like, and they don't even get resistance or immunity to poison and necrotic. It's just, oh, well, at the very end, you get immunity to being poisoned. Okay, I find it hard to care. And then you also get an improvement to Withering Aura, which just doubles its range to 30 feet. So they do get a range upgrade, it's just at the very end of the game. And enemies can't regain HP in it. half surprised that wasn't a default effect of it, but oh well. Overall, it could use some more work. Maybe also it improves, like, your defiling feature, where maybe it's like, oh yeah, you automatically get the max result of them. So whenever you spend the hit dice, it's automatically a 6 every time when it's yours, or whatever. I think it needs something else to be a bit more exciting. The current features, like maybe further defilement could stay, but Fouled Soul, that could probably be moved forward, and it wouldn't matter too much, but oh well. Overall, I think Defile Sorcery is... It's got some cool mechanics. It's a solid setup. I just feel like they could do a bit more with it, and another thing that's more subtle that I think they could do, I think they could probably add defiling rules for all classes and just have Defiled Sorcerer be the main Defiler build. Then again, I don't know if there's going to be feats that care about defiling magic and preserving magic. What I have right now, I hope there's other options. So last but not least, we've got the Sorcerer-King Patron. So uniquely, they get psionic spellcasting. I don't know why, because I'm pretty sure Sorcerer, like the Templars, who are the Sorcerer-King Warlocks, I don't think they were ever specifically associated with psionics. They are arcane magic users who have this connection to the Sorcerer Kings. Psionics, I think, has always been... It's outside of it. It's like, well, that's the stuff of other people. Though some do dabble in psionics, it's not widespread amongst all. But it's here. And it's just for these spells, but... oh well. So as for the spells you get, first rank you get Command, and then 2 spells that are of dubious usage. Compel Duel is straight up useless. It's a terrible spell, and it just fails to do what it wants to do and function in the actual game, because this is a cooperative game, so it doesn't fit. It's like, you could try using it, but the game isn't really designed for that sort of spell to function, because it just doesn't play well with your party. And yeah. Then Wrathful Smite. What is this? Hexblade? You're not Hexblade. They don't know if you're going to be Pact of the Blade or not, so why are you shoving Wrathful Smite down my throat? Like, at the very least, if it was, oh, well, it's Command, some other spell that you could actually use, and then Wrathful Smite, I would be more lenient as a, okay, well, I've got this other, like, maybe it was Ray of Sickness. It's like, okay, well, I've got Ray of Sickness for caster builds, and then Wrathful Smite for Pact of the Blade builds. Where, because there's 3 spells, it's fine, where it's like, okay, well, I've got Command, which I can always use. I've got this other spell, which is more for ranged builds. Instead, here's 2 spells for melee build, even though not much else helps you with it. And the other spell is absolutely terrible, while Wrathful Smite is like, well, it's nice if you're a melee build, but otherwise it kind of just sits there. Then second rank, you get Hold Person and Mind Spike. Seems reasonable. Third rank, you get Fear and Sending? Why do I get Sending? That seems out of nowhere. Like, what? Why? I genuinely have no idea what, like, is it supposed to be so you can contact your patron? Like, I don't know. It's kind of just randomly there. But I guess it can be nice. But it's just, why? Why is this here? Fourth rank, you get Compulsion and Staggering Smite, which, great. I might never touch those. Especially Staggering Smite, because I might be a ranged build, not a melee build. And, yeah, I'm not really going to get use out of it, am I? Then, fifth rank, they get Dominate Person and Synaptic Static, so 2 solid spells. This is probably the worst of the 3 spell lists, but that's mostly because it has an absolutely terrible spell that needs errata immediately in order to make it not suck. It sucked in 2014, so why does it still suck in 2024? And then 2 spells that it's like, well, they'd be nice if it didn't feel like they're taking up space for a melee build that you don't want on other builds. Next up, we have Tyrant's Herald. So you get just 2 quick things. You have Intimidation proficiency, or you get Expertise if you already had proficiency. Or actually, no, it just gives you Intimidation expertise, which is nice. It's like, yeah, you're a master of intimidating people and scaring them. That makes a lot of sense. Pairs really well with being a Warlock. Then you also have Voice of Tyranny. So charisma times per day. You can cast command as a bonus action without a spell slot. So this is very awesome as a way to just quickly, bam, do a command. And weave it in more. I love this ability. It's pretty cool. Command is one of those spells that's like, you can do some interesting stuff, but costing your standard action for a spell that doesn't really directly do damage and stuff, it's like, it's never the coolest, but as a bonus action, dang, that's good. And it also gets around the spell bloat that Warlock currently suffers from, where they've got like 2 spell slots most of the game, yet so many more spells than they even had in 2014 than they do spell slots. It's like, it's kind of ridiculous. So having a way to cast one of your main spells from your like spell list or like extra spells is actually really nice here, as a way to say, yeah, you don't have to waste spell slots on it, and it's even better than normal. So I really like that. Then at 6th level, you get Decisive Edict. So whenever you cast a spell using a Pact Magic slot, so basically your Warlock slots, you create this 30-foot emanation, and then for each creature in it, you can either marshal them or oppress them. So when you marshal, the creature has advantage on attack rolls till the end of its next turn, and if you oppress, the creature must make a Wiz save or be frightened. So that is pretty awesome. I really like that big, like, you cast a spell and you demand attention. Do note this doesn't work with Voice of Tyranny, but who cares? It's a bonus action cast, so yeah. And once you do this, you can't do it again until you finish short or long rest, or you use Magical Cunning. So, fair. Just a shame Magical Cunning kind of sucks and doesn't really help the problem, but oh well. I like it. It's a cool ability for once per, like, battle, essentially. You just do a big burst and give a bunch of bonuses. It's awesome. Then level 10, we get Vindictive Rebuke. So when an enemy hits you in an attack roll, you can take a reaction to make them re-roll it, and use the re-roll. If the attack misses, the target takes psychic damage equal to your Warlock level, and use this charisma times, and regain expended uses with a long rest. I will say, I would prefer if this specifically uses the lower roll, so it takes the worst result, just on the side case of, you do realize this can make them crit you, right? I don't think that's intended to be a thing that happens, but I do have to point it out. You can make them crit you now. So that's fun. And also maybe have the feedback damage if it still hits rather than, oh, if it misses, I get the damage. Just as either the attack misses or it hits and they take damage. I think that would be a bit better. Because right now it's like, oh, well, they hit me still. Or, oh yeah, they missed me and now you take damage. Ha ha ha. But overall, I like the idea. It just needs a little tweaking to make it as good as it could be. Then last but not least, we get Absolute Tyranny. When you cast a command, you can target an additional creature in the spell's range. So essentially, you always upcast it by 1, which is nice, especially for Voice of Tyranny. And frightened creatures automatically fail their save against command. That's pretty cool, actually. It would be nice if they had more ways of making enemies fear you. Cause fear would have been nice, but oh well. Maybe instead of compel duel. But other than that, overall, I think Sorcerer-King Patron's pretty neat. It does want you to be a bit close, but I think that's fine. It just needs some tweaking to the spell list, because currently it's, like, the worst by comparison. Its capstone's actually decent. It's nothing amazing, but it still does plenty of good stuff and has a lot of use, especially with the idea that command is, like, your main spell, so yeah. But anyway, I like it. Overall, I think all 4 of these are nice. There is room for improvement, but that's true of everything. So, yeah, overall, I'm happy with this and excited to see what comes out when we do get Dark Sun sometime in the future. But anyway, without further ado, I will see y'all next time. Halo Zoo, out.